Come on, guys. Don't be blue. Be blue. Are you following? Hey guys, MasakoX here. Super Saiyan Blue, eh? Oh, that form, yeah. Good times, good times. Are you fooled yet? Nah, I didn't think so. Last week, we reviewed the different types of Goku out there. 14 forms of various Gokus of all the colors of the rainbow, including the form that we are talking about today, Super Saiyan Blue. Haverock and I were pretty down on this form for 3 specific reasons. And not just because it was pretty much an easy A for Toriyama to come up with, but we'll get to that. Okay, firstly, its wet blanket of a debut in Resurrection F. Secondly, its lack of variation from regular old Super Saiyan, save for the obvious one, and I'm talking about the color in case you're not sure. And thirdly, its lack of consistency, and I think you definitely know what I'm talking about here. Power levels? Pah! We don't need those. I want to talk to you about the ways that we can fix this based on stuff that we've talked about before. Stuff that we already know from this form, from interviews and such. And you know what? Just for the heck of it, maybe throw a little dash of what-ifery here or there to fill in the gaps, because I'm actually really excited for this. If there's one thing that I've acquired since starting to make what-ifs over the last 2 years, it's a passion for analysing Dragon Ball narratives. Thank you, Choir Man. You're truly an inspiration. Go and subscribe to his channel, by the way. So let's cast our minds back to right before Resurrection F, when it came out back in April 2015 in Japan. Just a couple of weeks before Super was announced itself. I remember hearing rumours about a brand new Super Saiyan transformation being showcased in this next movie. Now, a lot of people, when they first found out that it was going to be blue, they were not happy about that. There were memes and jokes and all that kind of stuff. Deep down for me, I was pretty stoked. Why was I stoked? Because that other form that we got in Battle of Gods was brilliant. It changed the game for transformations for Saiyans in every way possible. And it all started with the fact that Goku detested this form as he felt that he didn't deserve it, despite finding the feeling of this power rather curious. The overall composition was leaner, more elegant, and transcendent. It was a huge leap forward for Dragon Ball, and it really made a statement. But that was pretty easy. I mean, Toei and Toriyama had nothing to lose. Battle of Gods was going to be lapped up no matter what they did. Okay, so if Battle of Gods did it well, how does Resurrection F do it? Well, let's tackle that first point that I talked about again. The debut that lacked pizzazz. As we know, with most debuts of new transformations in Dragon Ball, these are moments of occasion. These are big turning points in the narrative. These are scenarios which have tremendous levels of gravitas, splendor, and presence. Not to mention empathy or astonishment. The likes of Super Saiyan with Goku or Namek? I mean, come on. Goku had witnessed his best friend be offed in the most sudden and hideous way imaginable. Goku had nothing to say but to unleash his inner fury in a way that had been built up for so long, him resisting his Saiyan tendencies in nature, and then it came out in a blaze of agony and ire, so powerful. And Gohan finally seizing the day to go Super Saiyan 2? Put simply, he was told to not hold back. All his reservations that he had needed to be swept away, and to again witness an ally fall so unjustly was just too galling for Gohan to bear. Even GT's introduction of Super Saiyan 4? That was a tour de force. Goku was trying to control himself for the sake of his granddaughter and her safety, and by regaining his composure, his body could rein in the Great Ape power, and thusly, we got, quite frankly, one of the fewly admired things from GT, and it was a brilliant surprise. Super Saiyan 3, by comparison, it just happened. It was Goku effectively saying, "Oh, and here's one I made earlier. Ah!" Yes, granted, it looked and sounded intense, but we didn't see the struggle that went into getting it. We had to infer, guess what happened. And inferring is good for intricate plots and history essays. Thank you, Mr. Wright from A-level history class, for your advice. Evaluate. That's what he would used to say. However, this is Dragon Ball. There are times when you quite frankly need to step back and just enjoy the show. That being said, Super Saiyan 3 as a result has been labelled one of the more divisive instances of a new form. Now let me know if you agree about this up top in a poll. Super Saiyan Blue had a screen, some kind of tile work, blue crunchy things that went shattered to reveal the fruits of Whis' labours. Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan. Hadn't Toriyama said in an interview a couple of years back that blue was a weaker hair colour or something like that? According to My Game Newsflash, Dragon Ball creator Akira Toriyama apparently said that he thought red was a strong colour, but blue was weaker. Simply put, it's because the red hair looks so strong, said Toriyama. The colour yellow has, already been used, and blue isn't really that strong looking, so visually, red is easy to understand. So how do we fix this first issue? Well, that one is pretty easy. Show the moment that they tapped into it for the first time. And I know that, the manga sorta did it, but I think we need more than that. Like, we need to see surprise. And I understand that this blue transformation was meant to be a surprise for us all, to show that Golden Frieza had a fair challenge, new forms and new colours, etc. But we could have either seen flickers of blue to denote something different to Super Saiyan as a whole might be coming, like, ooh, what's that? Let's do some what-ifing for a second here. Supposing we are still on Beerus' world, and we are seeing Goku and Vegeta training with Whis. Things are beginning to stall because the two Saiyans are honestly running out of ideas in terms of trying to increase their efficacy with the Angel. They both know Super Saiyan God at this point in the story. Whis is as elusive as ever. Now supposedly, blue is all about tranquility and calming your instincts down to see more clearly. So okay, perhaps one day, Goku decided to take Whis' advice because things were going nowhere, and Beerus said he wouldn't spar with them unless they made improvements. Whis has told them to calm down, and so Goku does just that. As they spar, Goku and Super Saiyan, he starts to relax, instead of getting all uppity. Suddenly, flecks of blue ki begin to emanate from the Saiyan aura. Whis can see this, and wants this to happen, so he backs off a tiny bit, and Goku is motivated but keeps his cool still, and more blue sparks begin to rain off him. Much like how Vegeta morphed into Super Saiyan God in the Broly movie, Goku's hair begins to change colour strand by strand. His aura changes from yellow to green to blue. Goku can feel something change inside of him. He looks at his aura, and then the bangs of his hair. What the? It's blue! Whis, what's going on? Ah, yes, you're beginning to heed my instruction. This must be the manifestation of your newfound God Ki, melding with your Super Saiyan power. Remarkable. Simple. It's not as spectacular on paper as, say, Super Saiyan or 2, but you are there when Goku discovers it, and if he had no idea it would happen, we should share those feelings alongside him. It's all part of his journey. That, and it shows progress has been made with Whis and Beerus as their new coaches. And after seeing it, Vegeta would then have no choice but to calm down and follow suit because he wants that power too! And then when we see them use it against Frieza, we know that they're going to use it, and the Lord doesn't. So, okay, we know that they're good. Oh, Super Saiyan Blue versus Final Form Frieza. Oh, no, okay, Golden Frieza, okay. Alright, let's turn up the wick here. Oh, and as that transformation, which was quite easy to get to, bizarrely, even though they just got it, it should be more like in the Broly movie, hard to attain. It was an anachronism in Broly, a contradiction. I mean, before they could turn it on and off like a light switch, but why is it harder now? But here, in Resurrection F, it totally makes sense for them to struggle to get into blue. They've only just figured it out. Next up, what even is blue? Blue is meant to be a Super Saiyan power blessed with the inclusion of divine energy after exposure to it, and of course additional training from beings adept in it. Whis and Beerus. So, why is it that whenever we see this form, it feels like Super Saiyan only with the hue modified a little bit? On the surface, it just doesn't feel special. You could argue that Super Saiyan God is the same thing. I mean, Goku doesn't change his overall personality, you might think, especially in Super's interpretation of the entire Beerus arc, but I beg to differ. Goku here in this form is very unsure of himself. This disinclination to use his power is very unlike him. He's usually enthused to spar with someone, but this time around, he was a little reluctant. So when Toriyama devised Blue, after conveniently forgetting his backhanded statement on Blue looking weaker, he wanted it to embody Goku overcoming a certain limit. He has become both strong and tranquil, able to keep his composure in a fight. Why is Frieza's one-liner about it more accurate than what Toriyama said? So what is this? Super Saiyan with blue hair dye? That's not inaccurate in all honesty. Ultimately though, Toriyama's choice of colour was pretty arbitrary. In Battle of Gods, it was red, so I figured for Resurrection F, I should go with blue. That's all. Well, actually I was thinking about having it be white, but then it would color clash with the next enemy. So I figured I should save it for another occasion. Little did we know that he was talking about Zamasu there, or perhaps even mastered Ultra Instinct, but that's for another video. In short, blue was half-baked and really didn't have as much thought put into it as other forms in the past. Not even the previous form that we just got 2 years prior to Resurrection F. So how do we fix this? Easy. Go back to our color theory. Really, Masako? You really gonna stroke your ego again? A little, but there's a reason for it. When we go back to our theory on colors of chakra and their association with Super Saiyan, much like this chart behind me here, it illustrates it perfectly. The Vishuddha chakra, or throat chakra, embodies Super Saiyan Blue in our opinion. The Vishuddha chakra refers to our true voice. As the name suggests, the throat chakra with its chakra colors blue is associated with the ability to communicate, listen, etc. The ethereal element of the throat chakra, when balanced, allows an individual to have a pleasant voice, artistic abilities, expressive ways, and also the ability to be in a higher place spiritually. The individuals with balanced throat chakra are able to meditate well and use their energy efficiently and artistically. Ones with healthy throat chakras have highly attuned communication skills and the ability to detect lies or truths in conversations. If it were up to Haverock and I, we would use this Eastern cultural gem to change blue to affect Goku's mood. Let's say that based upon this excerpt, Goku became more elegant and expressive, fluid and agile, with the ability to convey their actions more eloquently, and be able to better sense the quirks and weaknesses in their opponent, and capitalize on them. Where and how does that sound familiar to you? That's right, Ultra Instinct. Super Saiyan Blue in short would be Ultra Instinct Light. It should be all about being that halfway point to that technique/form. Goku and Vegeta too should come across as more lucid, flowing, and assured of their actions, thinking less about them and instead just doing them. It's become clear that during the build-up to the Tournament of Power, that the strength of Super Saiyan Blue was thrown into question. It was used all the time for all scenarios. As a result, it became a go-to tool. Versatile, sure, but uninteresting. Krillin vs Super Saiyan Blue, Goku? Really? Krillin holding his own against Blue? What? Now, Android 17 in Blue's fight was cool and all, and a definitely well-made return for 17 as a whole, but the vastly changing levels of power the form had made it so hard to gauge its true efficacy, and because of that, it became inconsistent and people just didn't care about the form anymore. Just where does it fit? Why use it? Well, the way to fix this one? Well, this one is easy. Just don't use it as often! Goku has 4 different forms to use with people to assess their power before resorting to True Blue. Fighting Krillin? Try Super Saiyan 2 with him! It would be cool to wheel that one out, it's really underrated. 17? Either go with Super Saiyan 3, or if he's really struggling, break out Blue in a spectacular fashion which makes the fight even more memorable. And again, the Broly movie got it right. Blue looked amazing there. In Dragon Ball Super though, it was just a method of convenience. All the mystery of it being a mix of divine energy and mortal power was just swept away, only for it to become basically Super Saiyan for the modern age and another way to sell toys and merch. As if we didn't have enough merch. Like I'm one to talk, right? Suffice to say, Goku should have only used Blue when he needed to, not just use it right away. You gotta build up to it and coax your opponent tenderly, pressing their buttons and just tapping their potential. Okay, that got a little bit weird. These are just 3 ways that you could fix Super Saiyan Blue. Give it a more engaging and involved introduction. Have their users act differently to their usual personalities or when they act Super Saiyan to imply a change, and most importantly, don't over-rely on it. I know this may seem a little obvious, but I think they learned their lesson with Broly's power. Broly gradually grew strong when allowed to, and before we knew it, his power was maximum, and when we saw it in all its glory, it was mightily impressive and amazing to witness. So, there is hope here that whatever happens for Dragon Ball in the years to come, the spectacle will return, and the memories of Blue's mediocre beginnings will yet be put to rest. But we can always improve stuff. So what do you guys think? Did these ideas of tweaking blue intrigue you? How would you change the form to fit your preferences? Leave a comment below and let's get this discussion going. And I shall see you in the next video. Catch you later!